with the All-Star weekend officially completed, it's time for an honest review over how I thought the games went. Um, in my opinion, I thought the NBA All-Star games were fantastic. I like the way that was broken down in the 4 quarters. I didn't really read through the full kind of instructions of how they're going to be doing things, but I like the round robin. I like that we got 3 games before, and then we got the fourth one that kind of ended, mimicking the 4 quarters of the game. It all seemed to be, to me, pretty smooth. Um, and I think giving the players 1 quarter to battle it out, it gave you a chance to look at more players than what you typically would with 4 quarters and 5 players in the court at a time. Split them up into three. I think you got to see a lot more players uh, in the game in the quarter at a time. Um, Obviously, you had some guys who just kind of took complete control over like Kawhi, like Wemby, like Ant. But for the most part, you got to see like a good blend of everybody, um, except for Luka and Jokic, which was a bit disappointing in my opinion. I thought that if you're able to suit up, you're able to play even if for a couple of minutes, then I think you should have. I think they should have stayed in for the majority of the game. But I mean, beggars can't be choosers. We wanted a good All Star weekend. I think Adam Silver delivered, despite maybe some of his more recent kind of L's as of late. But I'd say NBA All Star Weekend as a total was not a W. Um, I think the All Star games were great. I do think that they were great. I think they hit on something with the World versus USA. Maybe they could switch it to just having a full roster of World versus USA. I do think if World had their better players, Luca, SGA, Jokic, I do think it would have been more of a game. But the defense still would have been lacking. So I don't know. I don't know. Maybe Team Stars would have still won it. Um, but the games are competitive, and I think you have to. I think you have to kind of shine a light on guys like Wemby, um, and Ant as well. But definitely Wemby, and Ant even said it that he set the tone for NBA All Star Weekend. And those young guys, even on Friday night, I say young guys like I'm not 23, but the young guys on Friday night, I mean, they also set the tone too. A large part of it for me is that you have a lot of people on social media kind of crying about Victor Wembanyama taking the game too seriously. But to me, is that energy? Some people could say is cringy, but to me, that energy actually does make the games better. And we spent like probably the past 5 years ridiculing the NBA All Star Game and how it's been pissed poor, how it's not been great because of the energy that the players put forth. And now you have a player who's actually putting that energy forth, and we're immediately ridiculing him. I don't think it's right. I think Wemby is exactly what we need. And I think having guys like Ant who respond well to that, even guys like Kawhi Leonard who start putting in hella work, respond to that in a positive way. I mean, that is what it's all about. That is why we want to watch NBA All Star Weekend. Those are the things that actually make NBA All Star Weekend great. You got a guy dropping 30 plus in 12 minutes in Kawhi Leonard, who's at the later stage in his career. You got young prospects showing out, Wemby, and it's fantastic. Like that's what you want to see at NBA All Star Weekend. You want to see the compete. Now the last game was not a competition at all. I don't know what happened to the OGs. They were playing great. It looked like they were gonna smoke them, uh, and then they just completely went away. And if that was the case, you should have let Wemby into the fourth quarter. But like I said, the NBA All Star games itself, I thought were very well. Moving on to the dunk contest, though, I don't know what you can do. I don't know what you could do with the dunk contest at this point. I really don't know. Um, I know for a large uh, portion of my life, I've got to see great NBA dunk contests, and maybe I've just been spoiled, and the product that we have now is just it's just bad compared to that. But this weekend really showed the NBA dunk contest is actually cooked. It's ruined. I don't know if you can get it back based off the past couple of years. Um, no disrespect to Keyshawn Johnson at all. Carter Bryant, I think of him. I think Keyshawn Johnson and Carter Bryant do fairly well, um, but it still was not all that great. You have a sorry excuse for a dunker in Jackson Hayes. Jace Richardson, I mean, he just got a concussion and left. And then Carter Bryant and Keyshawn, I mean, not trying to be disrespectful to any of these guys, but going into this, Jackson Hayes was probably your most prolific dunker because he's the one who actually has a lot of dunks in game or just in the NBA in general. Jace Richardson, rookie, doesn't have that many. Carter Bryant, same thing. Keyshawn Johnson, he has competed in these type of formats before in dunk contests. He does have a lot of bounce. I did think he could be a good dunker, but your most prolific dunker was Jackson Hayes. Going into it, I mean, he just starts off with like a layup. I mean, I don't really know what I was expecting. I guess um, Jackson Hayes probably in any other era of dunk contest wouldn't even be probably the 110th invite to the dunk contest. But now he's, to me, I thought he was going to be the most prolific guy going into it. I was like, he's doing East Bays and everything, but between the legs during games, and then we don't even see any of that during the dunk contest. I didn't know if that. I don't know what that was. I don't know what that was. Honestly, I'd investigate him for gambling immediately. I don't know what the money or the stakes look like on Jackson Hayes, but he seemed to be, at least to me, a guy I thought was gonna give us a lot more. He didn't give us anything. He didn't give us anything. Dunk contest to me, that was a really bad portion of the NBA All-Star Weekend. I don't know if you can. I don't know what are the steps to take. I know a lot of people say that there's nothing left. There's no more ideas. I don't think that's true. I think Mac McClung already kind of disproved that, and showed that there's absolutely still dunks out there. There's still dunks that have happened that can be perfected. He kind of showed off the dunks he would have done this weekend had he been invited, or I believe he was invited, but had he participated. And for Mac McClung, I mean, that's a G League guy. That's a G League guy still fighting for a spot in the league, and he's willing to give you that effort. I think the biggest way to fix it is probably just having our star players in it, having the John Morant, having the Zion Williamson, guys that even if it's C dunks, they bring in a lot of star power. People are gonna watch Zion Williamson versus John Morant in the dunk contest. I don't know what it takes to get the best dunkers in the league to buy in. Moving on to the 3-point contest, you had guys like Curry, Clay, KD, who immediately want to buy in. As soon as they saw Dame win, Dame said he wanted to get those guys. Curry immediately responded. I mean, they are already setting it up to do it next year. I don't know if it's an injury thing where they don't want to risk it doing the dunk contest, and 3-point contest is a little bit, easier on you. But, I mean, we've seen when you've had the great players buy in. We saw it in the Paris Olympics in 2024. When you have the great players buy in and they want to see something be better, they're not playing for money. They're playing for pride. And I think that was a big idea around the whole notion of All-Star Weekend. You want to show them that they have stakes in what's happening. I don't know how you add that for the dunk contest and the 3-point contest. In the USA versus World, I think that kind of put some skin in the game for them, and it made them realize, like, okay, we're playing for that national pride side of it, which is huge. It's huge. We saw the Paris Olympics. That worked perfectly. But it worked for the NBA All-Star Game. I don't know how it's going to work for the dunk contest or the 3-point contest, because honestly, they've gotten a little boring. And I think on the other side of that, administratively, what are we doing starting the 3-point contest at 5 o'clock? I'm getting home at like 6, and all of a sudden, Dame's already hoisting the trophy. So a big part of it is things got started way too early. Sunday games, that's okay. The games start at 5 o'clock. That's Sunday. But we got Saturday, Friday things being done before you even get to 8 o'clock. And it didn't feel like enough. And maybe it's just because we're stretching ourselves too thin over the course of 3 days. And you kind of have to just, I don't know, you just cut it off. But I thought there could have been a couple more festivities, make it a little more interesting. But for the most part, like I said, the games really bailed out the rest of the weekend. The dunk contest is shot, and the 3-point contest, it's been what the 3-point contest has always been. I think they had a lot of competition. I think it was nice seeing Dame compete, but I would like to see some of the bigger stars in the game as well compete. I think Con Knipple, I think that's great to have him there. I want to see Curry. I want to see Clay. shoot, I even want to see Trae Young, but I want to see the great shooters in the league and also a little bit of star power with these games. It's not just, I know people are going to maybe come at me about it, but it's not just the skill level. That is a huge part of NBA All-Star Weekend. But also having the star power to match is a huge part to me. Those got to be 50-50. I want to see the greatest players, but I also want to see the most popular players, the star players. That's what I would like to see. I understand that there's going to be a lot of players who participate who aren't, crazy popular. Alperen Sengun is one of them. I mean, he's popular in the NBA community, but he's not a huge star player. I still want him competing in the games, of course. There's a lot of players who I think are like so popular that they only get in there because of that. LeBron James could have been one of them, honestly, but he's still putting up great numbers. You had Curry as a starter. Of course, he was injured, so he couldn't play, but he got voted in as a starter, and that was strictly off star power. I don't want to see things like that. I just want to see it 50-50. I want to see it based off the talent that the players actually have, also their star power, because, I mean, those things do matter in making good All-Star Weekend. You could have a great game of Division II prospects. Division I, we saw the HBCU Classic. You can put out guys who maybe play well together, good players, but ultimately people are going to tune in to watch the star players, which is why you do things. That's how you fix the dunk contest, in my opinion. You have to get more star power. You have to get more people buying in, more people watching again. You're not going to get them watching with Jace Richardson and Keyshawn Johnson, with all due respect. Nothing to those players, but those aren't the type of players people are going to tune in for. Those aren't the type of players people are going to pay $900 for nosebleeds tickets in Los Angeles to go see. Nobody wants to go see that. Nobody wants to go watch that. Nobody wants to, I don't even want to cut it on my TV to watch that. So you need the star power to match the talent that's getting put out there, and especially when the talent is, I'm getting Carter Bryant, who's completed maybe as many dunks as I can count on my two hands. But maybe, I don't know. But that's what it seemed like to me. I'm not hating on it. I don't think that I'm not hating on the weekend. I don't think that there's much that can be done at this moment without making the players buy into the whole weekend, the entire weekend as a whole. You had guys like Giannis who still wanted to be there, SGA still wanted to be there despite their injuries. Coach, he was involved in the Celebrity All-Star game. You get the star players involved. Guys like Giannis still buying in. Like, even though he can't play, still buying in, be a part, talking it up to the rest. I think having the star players all kind of do that and buy into it. You had LeBron James not participate in media day. I mean, that's huge. Not having one of the biggest, not the biggest, he's the biggest star in the NBA, and he's not participating in the media. It gets tough. There's not much you can do with that. I know a lot of people are going to give Adam Silver a lot of flack. He's going to catch a lot of flack. Just he has to, because of some of the terrible ideas he had over the All-Star weekend. And because, I mean, he's the commissioner, it's going to happen. But if your star players can't buy into what you're trying to do on NBA All-Star weekend, there's not much you can do. Guys don't want to participate in media. You can't do anything about that. Guys don't want to participate in the dunk contest. You can't do anything about that. You got guys who will compete in the three-point contest, and I do think next year it's going to be really popular. And if the three-point guys can compete and actually buy in and all participate in it, I think it's going to make guys want to do the dunk contest, because, I mean, there's a lot of stars that are buying into it. So I think that it would be really good to just have players take it serious. Have fun, though. And I think the NBA All-Star Weekend can easily get saved, but I think it's on the players more than it is Adam Silver, which I don't think people really understand that. Adam Silver can't force them to do anything they don't want to. The players can play. They'll participate, but they aren't buying into it. They aren't actually trying to make it fun. They're not trying to do the entertainment aspect of it, which is disappointing, because there's nothing else you can do without having them fully buy into it. So not to give solutions, just giving my review of the NBA All-Star Weekend. I thought it was fairly poor at the beginning. The celebrity All-Star game I thought was entertaining. You know, you had Taco Fall. I think that is a cool space to reintroduce some of the players of the past. Some guys maybe injury prone, didn't exactly cut it. I liked having Taco Fall involved. I know he's not a celebrity by any means, maybe in the NBA community, but 2020 and five, I thought that was pretty cool. Having a 7'7" guy in the celebrity All Star game. I mean, it made it pretty fun. I would say it made it pretty fun. So I think that that was like a cool blend. And I think that he probably should have gotten the MVP easily. I don't know how 2020 and five doesn't do it for you, but hey, Rome Flynn back to back. Not hating on him. I think that there's some ways to go. I think that maybe next year the voters maybe do right by a couple of guys. I think Anthony Edwards should have been a starter going into it. That was pretty ridiculous to see that he wasn't. Maybe they switch it to just the two teams, USA versus World. I think that that adds a great aspect to it. But I also like splitting them up into 4 games. I think it made the festivities kind of take a bit longer. I think it also made each quarter feel like it was the last time they could play, because it was, you got 2 games. There wasn't a guarantee for a third. Um, so I think splitting it up by the quarters, I think that was a really good idea. Like I said, I think this is 50 on silver, maybe we're trying to motivate players to do it more. I don't think the monetary value of the weekend is a great motivator for players when they're getting paid as much as they are. So I definitely think there's some things else they can do to try and fix it. Um, I'm not handing out grades, but if I were, the dunk contest would get an F. Um, just a very poor showcase of talent. Was not very interesting at all. Dwight Howard, the judges are just awful. Dwight Howard has no business touching that panel again. Jackson Hayes should be, um, I don't know, state mandated expulsion. He should never be allowed to return to the dunk contest again, even to just watch. I think the Celebrity All Star game, I give that like a C. Like I said, I thought it was fairly interesting. Shooting Stars, I thought was fairly interesting. I didn't get to see the bulk of it. Kind of watched some of the replays of it. Um, I think having the good blend of the players with their dads, I thought that that was pretty cool. I give that like a C plus. 3 point contest, I give it a B. I thought having Damian Lillard in there was pretty cool. I thought him winning made it even better. As far as the All Star games themselves, the last game hurt it, but I'd honestly give it an A minus. I mean, we had 2 games, 2 game winners. Each one felt like it was going down to the wire. Effort was great. I'd give them solid A minus to B plus. I thought the All Star games really put like a nice touch on the weekend. I thought it was well executed. I thought it was good on the young guys, good on Wimby, good on Ant for actually putting some effort forth and making everybody else buy into it. I thought it was fairly good. Thank you guys for tuning in. If you like this type of content, be sure to subscribe, like, and leave as many comments on our videos as possible. If you like our reactions, tune into this video right here. Me and Nate break down all the moves that happen at the trade deadline. And if you like game reactions, tune into this one right here.